This is the RP podcast where we tell the real truth about the fake shit. I'm Amber, and today my fabulous and gorgeous co-host is also Amber Rose Johnson. She is the founder of Facial Lounge, which is a beautiful spa in California. I wish I was there right now. Thank you so much for being on with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Is it beautiful, warm, and sunny there?
Kinda, sorry. It is. Yes. We're right in Newport Beach, right across from the beach, and it is beautiful. I know you're about to get a lot of snow today, so I don't want to rub it in.
I'm so over it. I'm like, really, I feel like if there was only 3 seasons, I'd be fine. I love the fall. I love the spring. I really could do without the winter.
I get it.
It's just not good for anybody. It's not good for the soul. I find that you're kind of like hunched over. I was on vacation in Tulum recently, and it was just amazing. A week in the sun, how much more your soul feels lighter.
And that's real. I mean, vitamin D, the sun, you need it. Even in the winter, try to sit by your window, get some sun. It's very important for your mental space.
It really, really, really is, but, I try to get out as much as I can, but with the cold, it's tough.
Yeah.
It is absolutely tough. I was really inspired by your story and the fact that your struggles with cystic acne, in your youth and your desire to find natural ways to combat that or to handle that, really sort of launched a career in beauty for you. Can you tell us a little bit about, talk to me a little bit about that? Like, what was it? What was your skin condition in your younger years? Because your skin is gorgeous.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I work hard on it. I had stage 3 acne, and this is in the early 90s. So you couldn't Google things, you couldn't find things. And my father is a scientist by nature. He's very, very smart. And he had acne, so it really bothered him. Okay. And my father's brilliant man. And I started making my own things. I would read little magazines, and one of them said, toothpaste was trending in the 90s for acne. I mixed toothpaste with bentonite clay and tried to make a mask. And I was making my own home remedies, and they were disastrous. My skin was getting worse by the day. So finally, we found this amazing doctor named Dr. Fulton, who he actually developed benzoyl peroxide. And he was in Newport Beach, and I started going to him, and he did really painful extractions, tons of ice. I mean, they packed my face with ice. They did lots of sulfur. It was very, very painful, but it was working. Right. And I was so excited, but it was very, very painful. And I make a joke. He never hired me. I never left. I started, after he was done with extractions, following him around and trying to figure out what he was doing. And I wanted to, I was always a vegetarian. I never had meat my whole life. And I was very into animal. And I wanted really clean products. And I just assumed this doctor made clean stuff. I trusted him. I knew him. And I started working at a health food store at the same time. That's when I would make my concoctions, and they were not working. And I found all the fun things at the natural food store wasn't working for acne, but this doctor was, and I wanted them to meet. And that's when Mother's was very, very, at the time, very vegan, was like, find out if it's animal tested, find out if there's any animal ingredients, find out what chemicals it has.
Mother's was the store you were working at. Okay.
It's like Whole Foods. It's still around. Right. So I brought the skincare over, and Mother's, the buyers were floored, all these kind of vegan hippie. They're like, this is like toxic, and this has, benzoyl peroxide is animal tested. And I was so embarrassed. So I ran back, and he goes, yeah, that's what we do. So that's how I figured out really young that the medical side wasn't ethical and wasn't caring about ingredients, and the natural side wasn't studied. And that's how my path began. I actually started taking classes at UCLA very young on cosmetic ingredients. I started becoming a buyer for Mother's Market, learning the whole natural food, but there wasn't anything for acne. There's lots of stuff for dry, lots of oils, but there wasn't. And that's how my journey began.
When it comes to, can you, for people who might not know, like, what's the difference between cystic acne and, your run-of-the-mill breakout, if you will?
A great question. So there's genetic acne that is triggered by a lot of things, and there's lots of findings right now. When I was growing up, they thought it was chocolate. Chocolate was trending for the ingredient for that caused acne. But there's a small percentage of people who are allergic to chocolate that actually cause breakouts. But just because your friend or your cousin might get a breakout from chocolate doesn't mean you are. So now we're finding that people need to get tested for allergies to see what's triggering it. Most of the people, almost 80% of people, it's gluten, dairy, and eggs. That's really what's triggering a lot of breakouts and a lot of gluten. So we're actually vegan, our whole skincare. There's a lot of vegan and wheat. Sorry, I left it. Well, let's, gluten, wheat. But a lot of skincare uses wheat proteins. A lot of skincare, it was cheap. They use a lot of dairy protein, and those actually cause breakouts. So our skincare is vegan because of the allergies too.
So going back to this idea of cystic acne, is it always something that is triggered by external factors?
So no.
Okay.
But they was to help. So if you know a little bit about epigenetics, which is interesting, it's like how our genes affect us. Genetically, acne can be triggered from a lot of different things. So emotional state of mind. Believe it or not, I notice a lot of people get certain areas or certain things on forehead, a lot of overthinkers. People don't get things off their chest. Also, shampoo and conditioner that can cause a lot of acne up here. Yeah, a lot of, especially like Garnier, Pantene, all those synthetic oils, those cheaper, anything Procter and Gamble, they use really cheap ingredients, embed itself. It makes hair shiny, but it makes your skin break out. But certain areas mean certain things. So lower face acne is food usually. So this is a lot of allergies. Even sulfates in wine. Believe it or not, during COVID, some of my clients who don't have acne they were drinking more wine. They're drinking cheaper wine because it was COVID. And it was more sulfates, and sulfates can cause acne. So everyone has a trigger. So it's genetic. So it's what genetically we have. Some people have these beautiful, it depends on where they're from, but a lot of, there's no acne in their genes, right? So then if they get a pimple, it's usually from dirty makeup brushes, topical stuff, right?
So if there's, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but like, if people are listening right now and, their teenage daughter or son is presenting with breakouts, how, and now I know, I'm not asking you to replace a dermatologist, but like how, as a parent, can you know, is this cystic acne? Is this the run of the mill sort of hormonal breakout? Is there a difference?
Yes. So the best thing to do is try to do some elimination. Okay, so get them a cleaner shampoo and conditioner, maybe with less oils, is a really good start. That really helps. A lot of breakouts are from that. If it's right through here, believe it or not, women, especially uterus, is shaped like a U. We get U. Think of this like a U, like the uterus. We break out all right here. And guess what else? Our heels, like a U, get dry. And that's actually your uterus. So right before our periods, our heels get more dry, and we get some pimples here. Our body's sloughing out. All our U's are sloughing away. Okay, that's very... And that's really cool. So icing, don't touch ice. So if you notice, it's usually going to be right around their cycle, the girl's cycle, especially if they're teenagers. Their hormones just rev up at that time. So that's a really important time. And then when our hormones rev up, guess what we want to do? We want to eat chocolate. And
right.
And we, we're pissed and we're moody. So taking that time, this is a really side note. Remind me, Native Americans. I'm going to tell you a story about women on their cycle and how they handle that. But the stress, we have higher stress hormones during that time. So it's emotional, it's physical, it's topical. So now we're wearing masks, we're sweaty, we don't feel good, our skin's mad, and our hormones are raging. And now we get epic maskne, which is like a huge trending thing right now. So it's a lot of different layers. So I tell people, when you're doing your skincare, that's a time to talk about yourself. Don't beat yourself up over the acne. Girls get in the mirror and they start picking and yelling at themselves and getting mad. That stress hormone goes higher. So this is the time to go, I'm beautiful. That pimple's beautiful. It's fine. My hormones are working and I'm okay. And you're going to wash it. You're going to ice it. You put your moisturizer and you go about your day. I tell people, I beat myself up and I missed parties. I missed dances, all from acne. I missed a lot of things. Big football games that were so fun and important. And I'm not in any pictures because I didn't like and I'm mad at myself. I should have been in the pictures. Big deal. I actually had very serious acne, but I could have, put some makeup on and gone out. So I tell people, don't let it ruin your life either.
It's so interesting. So I was recently in Mexico and went into the pharmacy. And, side note here, the pharmacies in Mexico are wild because not only that, they have like a printed list of like every weird drug. And it's like, no, thanks. I'm just here for a bottle of water. And it's like, do you want Viagra? Do you want sleeping pills? Do you want, I mean, it runs the gamut, and it's like, just the water, please. Thank you. But I happened to walk in one night, because I would get water before I'd go back to the hotel. And there was a young woman in there, and they were Russian. So it was a mother and her 14-year-old daughter, and they didn't really speak much English. And then the cash register didn't speak any English. And so through my broken Spanish and kind of whatever, the mother was explaining to me that her daughter had broken out. And the woman at the pharmacy, God bless her, was like handing the mother a bottle of Retin-A. And I was like, don't do that. I was like, please don't do that. I was like, you should buy the Retin-A because it's great for your skin. But I was like, on a beach vacation, if she uses this, one, I don't think it's right for her. Two, she's going to burn. It's going to be really, really bad. But it was funny. We were looking around because I was kind of like looking for like the old like benzoyl peroxide things that they didn't have there. And the mother was kind of, but in my head, I was thinking, wow, this girl has maybe 1 or 2 pimples. She's 14 years old. You know, it's definitely, to me, it's probably a hormonal thing, you know, but what do you do in that case? So you're saying ice.
It's free and it works. Leave it alone. Don't pick it, ice it. It goes away. Try to cut out some of the things that you might be eating that, you know, especially, like I said, gluten's a huge one. Dr. Fulton also made Retin-A, just so you know.
Yeah.
So
wow, cool. Yeah. Retin-A's like, I mean, I love Retin-A, but
it can fry the skin. And if someone's sensitive, and you're helped her so much, because the sun and Retin-A together are like the worst thing.
And I was like, that would be the worst thing ever. I was telling my girlfriends, I'm like, listen, what little I know, I don't pretend to be a doctor, but I walked in at that moment as she was handing over this tube, and I was like, no, don't do that. She's going to have to sit inside. Yeah. Plus, I think they were giving her like a 0.5. I mean, it was a very strong prescription for a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah, I know. And you know, Retin-A really has a little home, and it's really for good. I tell people during the winter when you're not going to be out in the sun and you want to do a little bit, but not to live on it. Your skin you have a healthy biome. Right. So try to give a break from that. It's almost like trying to live on antibiotics. You don't want to do that. Also, benzoyl peroxide is the same way. I tell people, if you have benzoyl peroxide, that's like a 2 or 3 times a year max. It kills that healthy biome, which makes you have more scarring, more redness. It doesn't really help. It's a quick, kills the bacteria, but that's as far as it goes. Do it 1 or 2 times and leave it alone. I don't even use, if I get a pimple, I don't use benzoyl peroxide. But if in an emergency, there's an Oxy-10, I get it, use it. But yeah, ice is probably one of the best things to do. If you're in Mexico, that would probably be ideal. Sun isn't bad for it. Salt water is not bad for it. Believe it or not, early morning sun, like 5 a.m. to like 9 in the morning. Yeah. It doesn't burn you. It's a different type of sun.
Right. Okay. Got it. And I love this because you're really giving people at home, I think, something to think about it, because listen, I bet there's a lot of listeners out there who have, you know, teenagers, whether it's their own children or children in their lives, who are going to start to go through this. I've seen it through all my nieces and nephews. And, you know, by the time they hit their 20s, it generally sort of subsides a little bit, but I know during that crucial time, it's like you said, it can be debilitating.
Well, also, adult acne is huge right now. And it's that's from gut. So we are finding so many women are coming in their 30s, 40s, 50s, still with acne. That is not, like you said, it's mostly teenagers. And now we're finding, and that's from gut health. That's actually from a lot of people, believe it or not, even hand sanitizers. Okay. We're over hand sanitizing, kills our gut biome. So you might be taking acidophilus. When you put hand sanitizer, so I use a natural hand sanitizer. I love hydrogen peroxide. That's fabulous. You can spray 89 cents, you guys. You can spray your counters down with it. Hydrogen peroxide is fabulous. It instantly kills without overkilling the gut biome. And if you look up gut biome, you want that thing healthy. You want no diet soda. You want to keep, your gut is a brain. It sends signals to your head. So it helps your mood. It helps your hormones. It helps your health, your skin.
Let me tell you, I also just spent a week in Mexico. So I'm very familiar with what my gut and how it was. And let me tell you, by the end of that week, it was not happy.
It's hard, right?
It was not happy with me. But it's funny. I said to my husband on the way back, I was like, I can't believe, you know, I haven't traveled so much, but always when I travel, there are things that I take. I always take Benadryl, and I've just learned that's a good thing to have when you're traveling in a foreign country. And I always take probiotics.
Very smart.
because you have to have that for your gut. Of course, I didn't have either of them this trip, but
yeah, no, it's hard.
And I paid the piper. So when people come in now, now focusing on, I love this idea of, hey, tell your kids instead of reaching for those drugstore things, ice works. When you're talking about ice, how do you properly ice your face?
So you wash your face, make sure it's clean. Literally, you could take ice in a Ziploc bag and stick it on your face. We're making a couple of different tools we're going to be selling. We also have the cryo globes that I see next to you. That's a nice massage. But believe it or not, cystic acne, you don't want to massage. So that's great for like lymphatic drainage, inflammation. You can lay that for a few minutes, which is good. But I mean, if someone's really severe, I ice in a Ziploc bag and pack it on and let it sit for 5 minutes. Think of like if you hurt your pimple and it swells, you keep icing to take down the inflammation. These pimples are inflamed. So if you leave them alone and ice, believe it or not, that pus, everyone wants to get it out, which I get, but it's just white blood cells. It goes back in your body. It goes away. It's fine. It doesn't have to come out. Extractions, when it's big and gross in it, we specialize in that here. We get them out here at Facial Lounge. And a lot of estheticians do know how to do that. So you can do it. If you don't, they don't know how to do extractions. Don't let them do them. Just ice.
Right. Because you can have scarring. Yeah. I found that, I'm lucky. I had very good skin as a teenager, as an adult. But I did learn, in my 20s, like the occasional pimple, you're better to leave it alone, because the second you start poking and prodding, it's going to it just gets angry.
It gets very angry. It actually can. So say I call them like little families. So say you have one little pore that's up and you push on it. Now that pus goes into the second pore. Now you have two, and then you get clusters. So when people get clusters, it's usually because they're picking at them. Post-pigmentation scarring lasts 6 weeks to 9 weeks, meaning if you mess with it, it lasts that long. If you didn't, if you ice it, let it go away, it lasts 10 days.
Right.
Mark. I mean, it's not forever. And now if your skin is scarring a lot, that's the health. So that means you should take antioxidants internally and topically. Antioxidants really help your skin heal and internally help you heal.
Okay. So we're talking about like a vitamin C, okay.
E, yeah, all of them. They're amazing for the skin, for the immune system. Lysine, we sell a very, very amazing. I begged this doctor to make our lysine. He makes vitamins and he's amazing. So we make an L-lysine, which is an amino acid for viruses. They use it a lot for shingles. They use a lot for cold sores, but it's actually really good for acne. You can buy that at Whole Foods. I almost said Wild Oats. That doesn't exist. Sprouts, I'm old.
Is that something that, and again, of course you always want to talk to your family doctor, but is L-lysine something if you've got acne as a younger person it's good for, or is it better if you're older?
Everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. I even break mine up and put it in my kids' smoothies. I have little ones and it really does help their immune system. So if you look up L-lysine, it's great. Yeah. It's found in food. And you can buy it anywhere, CVS, any place. I try not to buy my vitamins from a lot of I like smaller brands because I don't want anything made in China. There's a lot of lead. They actually just tested a bunch of vitamins and there's a lot of heavy metals in them. So lysine is better in a capsule. You can buy one in a capsule. I love a brand called Thorn, Pure, and Metagenics are some of my favorites. And then we sell one here at Facial Lounge that's specifically made from a local doctor that I love. And they're under $20. They're not expensive, but it's very good for immune system. It builds collagen. It's good for open wounds, acne, shingles, cold sores. It's phenomenal. If somebody gets cold sores and they take that, they won't get them. It's like,
it's interesting. We did a podcast on Monolaurin. I don't know if you're familiar with Monolaurin, which is another sort of antiviral. It has antiviral properties. And you read a lot of people who suffer from things like cold sores, take the Monolaurin and it's gone. People get bad UTIs. You do?
I take a lot. I have them in little, I don't know how you had them, but they're like little tablets.
Okay. I had them in like little capsules. Yeah.
Okay. So mine are like almost like little coconut chips.
Yeah.
And I put in water and I just down it.
Yeah.
I take a big teaspoon and I down it. And it's fabulous. That's really, really antiviral, super good for the immune system. Who told you about that? That's not a lot of people know about that one.
It was, oh my gosh, now you're putting me on the spot because we had him on and I have to think of his name right now. Oh my gosh, forgive me. I'll go back and look. But his whole company, he has a supplement company and he really got into healthy, natural ingredients in the supplements. And so, he's got a great brand of Monolaurin.
Yeah, no, I would like that information because I take that a lot. Grape seed. So we were talking about there's grape seeds, which is proanthocyanidin, which is a vitamin for your skin. Capillaries, good for scarring. So, and in America, there's no seeded grapes. So good luck on trying to, if you find seeded grapes,
Right.
take them. So is that stupid? Because they don't want us to grow our own food, but you can buy grape seeds. That's fabulous for scarring, capillaries, marks. And then there's grapefruit seed. Okay. So that's a company called Nutribiotic, very antiviral. That is one of my favorites. Grapefruit seed, you can take it in water, drink it, great for gut. People have a lot of gut stuff, kills bacteria. If you have animals, put a drop in their water. I also, when I get a pedicure, I put it in the water because it kills everything.
To make sure, you know, I've been getting pedicures since I was 13, and I just thank God, knowing some of the places that I went to in my younger years, right? That you didn't end up, because fungus is horrific and it takes years to get rid of.
Oh, people lose their toes.
Yeah.
It's real. Yeah.
So from going from toes, let's go back to our face up here, because now you say you've got a lot of people in their 30s, 40s, 50s coming in for maskne. So what are the sort of treatments that you're targeting towards them?
So first, I would tell people to get their hormones checked and their allergies checked. So a lot of stuff is internal. Second, believe it or not, washing your makeup brushes. So many people don't wash their makeup brushes. That should be a weekly thing. That brand Nutribiotic, I was saying, the one with the vitamin grape, they make a skin cleanser that I love. It's $8. It's like the best. I use that to wash my brushes, and then I leave my brushes in the sun. So a lot of makeup brushes can cause acne. So that's topical acne. Makeup can cause the pores. A lot of mineral makeup sometimes aren't even great for everybody. So if you notice, I always tell people, okay, you're newly breaking out. You've never broken out before. What's new? What are you doing new? Is it Tide? Because detergents have colors and fragrance, and that irritates. A lot of back acne is detergents.
Right.
Are you using new toothpaste? I mean, there's so many ingredients.
You have to go by process of
ingredients and things that you want to avoid.
Yeah.
Elimination.
And process of elimination really works. Touching on the makeup brushes, you know, we interviewed the founder of Beauty Blender, and I remember there was this whole big thing that was like, my beauty blender is killing me. And really at the end of it, we laughed so hard because it was like people weren't washing their sponges. And if you don't wash your sponge, if you don't wash your makeup brushes, I mean, they were finding fecal matter on this stuff. It's really gross. So I try to remind people all the time to wash their makeup brushes.
I'm using a new one this week. I'm trying, it's called Uve, UVE. It's supposed to be antimicrobial. Yeah.
Do they have the silicone on them?
No, they're very similar, but they're supposed to have a patent ingredient. He was working on it for 4 years, but they launched during COVID, not knowing COVID was going to come. And I'm like, what a great time to have an antibacterial product. So I'm using his sponges lately, and they seem to be good. I'm very acneic, so my skin will break out if my skin's very, very sensitive, and I'm in my 40s. So I know I still break out. I tell people mine is genetic. And then, like you said, there's some layers. There's genetic, there's things that are triggering it. And then there's topical stuff that we do that can cause a pimple, almost like a rash. And that would be ingredients that we're using. Even I have a lot of, this happened the other day. I have a client, she's breaking out more, a lot of in her temples, a lot through here. And she's been using the same shampoo and everything. I looked it up and it got bought out. So this cool little company is no longer, and they changed all the ingredients. Would have never known. And she stopped using her shampoo and her rash went away. She had all this.
What was the company? Spill.
It was a tiny one. I forgot. I have to think. It started with the O. It was a tiny company. She was so upset. And that happens a lot. I'm going to look up Dalvinus. I think I heard that they got bought out, which is from Italy, a great little line. So sometimes these companies get bought out, and you guys got to be careful. I also have clients who bought fake stuff on Amazon. A lot of Jane Iredale, fake makeup Jane Iredale on Amazon. So you
have to be careful about that. And you are just like hitting all the things that I absolutely love, because on this podcast, people have listened. You've heard us talk about it. I was on the head of Revitalash, and she used to work for a company that we were Murad, which I worked for forever. Loved everything that Dr. Murad had to do. They got bought out and they changed my favorite product, the hydrodynamic. And that happens a lot. And I think, people don't really realize it, but when big companies, Unilever bought out Murad and they changed the formulas for generally pricing reasons. And
That happened with Philosophy. I don't know if you remember Philosophy.
yeah, of
They're owned
course.
by Biomedic. I don't know if everyone, but Biomedic, I'm going way, way back, was my favorite papaya mask. We make a papaya mask. Biomedic was, which is so cool. That's a professional. It's papaya and pineapples. It's one of my favorite things. That's kind of how I started. But enzymes, you can do this at home too. I make a joke that's like 30 papayas in a jar, but you can make a papaya mask at home, which is great. But companies got buyout, and Philosophy used to make, oh my God, I wish I could have their original formulas. The best makeup, the best, just, I don't know.
All of this stuff. I mean, I remember Philosophy, like it was like they always had like the great Christmas scents and like that whole line. Wow. So people
used to make this powder that made everyone's skin look like butter. It was like the most magical thing. They don't make it anymore. Oh my God, it was the coolest powder in the world. It didn't break anyone out. It was like amazing. So,
you know, you're bringing up a really good point though, because I think this concept too of maskne, right? We're all saying maskne because we are wearing more masks, but it's not necessarily just the mask that's causing that, right? So it could be, like you said, changes, what's different in your products. Certainly people don't wash their masks a lot. I'm always grabbing my husband's mask and he's like, what? It's clean. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm washing them all the time.
That's funny. Fabric masks are better, so I'm glad you're doing that. There's also antimicrobial masks that are made out of silver and copper.
Right.
So look those up and try a couple different brands. I have 100 because I don't even know which one I like yet. I still don't have an answer. And actually, a company called Pedicure makes the silver ion. Okay,
yeah,
Epicure, the silver ion like face mask that's reusable. It's $300. I want to cut it up and make a face mask out of it because it's good for acne. Do you have one?
No, but I love their stuff, Epicurean.
Well, they make this cool fabric silver thing that I'm like, they need to make face masks. They'll probably be $300. So it's so expensive. Honestly, I think the sheet of paper, the sheet of fabric is $300, $400. It's not cheap. And I think it retails for like $800. I don't remember. Don't
wow, right.
But I'm like, if they made that, that clears up acne. I'm like, they need to make face masks out of that. That's my idea, by the way.
What are your thoughts on things like blue light therapy for acne? Okay, and now, okay, so you feel like you really believe in that and see that. Okay,
there's so much. Lights can go in deeper than any. Lights can hurt you. Think of a laser. Laser could cut through a wall, right? A laser could heal your eyes. I mean, lights can do so many things. It can damage you. It can heal you. It can make plants grow. It could kill a plant. So they're tapping into some things on these lights, and there's near infrared and far infrared. So it depends on if you want to go into the muscle. So they're using red lights to go in and do inflammation. It also removes lactic acid, pain. So that if you see a football game, don't you see them put red light right on them instantly and get them out? There's red lights being used in surgery. The second they're done with surgery, they stick a light on there and there's no scarring, swelling, bruising, marks. It helps you heal so fast. So we use them here. We have blue and red. So we use red light for inflammation, for rosacea, also for extra extractions if someone's real bloody or you know, there's this has a lot of ooze, that it calms the redness down. And then we put blue on it, which is antimicrobial. I love the brand Light Stem. There's a lot of good ones out there. Just make sure that they have some studies behind them. There's a lot of good companies. There's a lot of fake. It's another thing I get so frustrated. But blue light is antimicrobial, totally works. I don't like it a ton. I think people should just do it in little bits when they're broken out and then be done with it.
Okay. Yeah. We've been, working with New Beauty. I've been doing like a lot of tests on the red lights. And it's very pleasurable. It's hard to see because I've seen so much good science in that. But for things I think anti-aging, red light therapy, it's really hard to definitively say, yeah, I had a great result but for things like acne, I've had people who are like, this changed my life.
So that's interesting. So think of red light. Okay. It's very anti-inflammatory. It's long-term. It's almost like your hair growing. You don't see it, but you kind of know your hair is thinner or thicker. That's how the red lights are. Your skin gets just a little bit healthier, but you're not going to go, my wrinkle's gone. It's not both.
Exactly. Right.
It's not magical. Right. So people want more instant results, but think. I don't know if anyone's taken. By the way, collagen can break people out. That's another big one. The gummies, the hair gummies, the biotin, the collagen, it's overstimulating. So you just reminded me, people come in all the time and go, do you start taking hair vitamins, hair gummies? Yes, get off of them. It's too much. It's too stimulating. So you reminded me of something. But also for hair, there's certain things where you'll just start, say you forgot to start, you stop taking a certain vitamin, you go, my hair feels thinner, my nails are more brittle. and then you start taking, you feel better. That's kind of like light therapy, or light therapy is used in moods. I mean, the red light's good. So don't stop doing them just because they're not like, but they're really, really good for you.
I've started using, I've got this DPL2, which is like, you know, medical grade LEDs. And I started using it like if I pull my back, I'll just sit on it because, and I, you know, I don't know how much of it is my own mental, you know, but I believe it works. I'm believing in it.
Red lights still on that. Are phenomenal. And you could end with ice. So because that has a little heat to it, which isn't bad, you can end with ice. Is just like a bonus. It's called hot cold therapy. You always want to end with cold. So you could do red light, take a cold shower. I know it sounds so relaxing. Just kidding.
It sounds lovely right now.
But it is really good for you. But no, for pain, lights are pretty amazing.
So let's talk a little bit about the Facial Lounge, because you're based in, you said Newport Beach.
Correct.
And you've got a ton of influencers, I know, come to you and who swear that you've changed your skin, but your products are really you're really all about going to more of a natural skincare, correct?
Yes.
And that came,
I say clean, because natural, you got to realize I've been doing this 25 years.
Yeah.
So natural, the first 15 was frowned upon. People go, I want stuff that works. Well, natural still works. If you're going to eat blueberries, it's still going to be good for you. It's not like taking a pill. So I tell people, I would rather you have the food, so skincare is like that. It has so much nutrition. So I'd say facials are like a workout. Skincare is like the nutrition. We can go in and do a lot of things, but it's your home care that makes all the world a difference. So our skincare is super clean, but it works. So we have anti-aging products. We have things for sensitive skin. We have oily skin, acne, even dry acne. Not a lot of people. So in general, skincare was made, anti-aging products caused acne, and acne products caused aging. And now we're anti-aging and anti-acne. So we're one of the first people to really figure that out. So everything's anti-aging. So all ages can use our skincare, and our acne products won't dry you out.
Right.
So many acne things, if someone over 30 or 40 would use it, they'd be dry, red, irritated. Ours is more anti-inflammatory, and it happens to heal the acne without making you red or dry.
You know, before I let you go, and I feel like you've given us so much information on the acne, you mentioned something quickly before, and in conversations we've had offline, I love this idea. You really believe in sort of these self-affirmations.
Yes. I do.
And that there is science. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, even all of our doors have them. We have one here, if you could see, it says, I am strong. I am. Every room you walk into has a affirmation. And this is really important to me. Self-talk is the most important thing. I'm in Newport Beach, which happens to be the skinniest place in America. And I'm a bigger girl. And I grew up here. And not only am I a bigger girl and grew up in Newport, my parents owned a health club in Newport Beach. And so I watched what women did to beat themselves up about being thin. My parents were both aerobics instructors and fitness instructors. And I watched this mental place they go to. So I always had acne. I was bigger. I didn't fit in this box. And I realized that my self-talk and my self-worth was, I owned it. And when that power came, no one else can hurt me. And there's something beautiful in a smile and confidence that I don't care what you look like. I have women coming in, like you said, influencers, models, beautiful celebrities, beautiful girls that people would kill for. People look in magazines and want to be, and their self-talk isn't good. And that's where I want them to get to that place. And there's so many opinions on these people. I mean, everyone has an opinion. We're in a thing that anyone can tell you how they feel about you and be mean and get on the internet. And that affects people, and you cannot let it affect you. So taking those few minutes when you're doing your creams, when you're in the shower, when you're washing your hair, you give thanks. Thank you for having hair. You know, there's a lot of women waking up today that don't have hair. When you're brushing your hair, thank you. Thank you for having eyes that I can see. And even if you can't see and you don't have hair, you know, you're breathing, we can find something. It can go down to the smallest level. Thank you for letting me walk, through a door. I have a roof over my head today. Even if you hate your car, thank God you have a car to get to wherever you need to. The gratitude has to be so deep and real. And as you go there, it just starts attracting everything. And so a few minutes when you're brushing your teeth, thank God I have teeth. I don't care if you hate your teeth. You think your teeth are ugly. Thank God you have some. You could chew food today. So go down to the grateful affirmations and watch it manifest a beautiful life.
I love that. One of the things that COVID taught me was to ground myself in gratitude. And I mentioned that to my father the other day, and he's like, I love that because it's so accurate. It's like, there's so much to be grateful for. And once you sort of change your mind, you will change your life. Things really do sort of fall into place. I know that there's also been studies proven. Have you ever heard the superhero pose?
No.
Oh,
Is that this one?
no. Any strong pose, they have done studies on this, that if you hold, so like if you're standing and whatever it is, you feel really strong. Exactly. Whatever makes you feel, whatever your superhero pose is. And if you hold it for 30 seconds, that you actually then do perform better in whatever task you're going to do. So whenever I have to get on camera, or if I'm doing something nervous, I do the pose. And now I'm going to start to add in.
Well, they've done studies with your hands over your head.
Okay.
That's another study, very similar. And it gets you just and open.
Right.
Open up. And you
be
just
big, be beautiful, open yourself up to the world.
Yeah. And 10 deep breaths. They found 10 deep breaths can relieve 70% of those stress toxins. So sometimes for anything, it just in the car, I've done them, and it's a big in through the nose, kind of get that chest really big. I tell just every corner, fill your body up with that air and then let it out. And oh my gosh. And in a facial, we do that. If there's any estheticians watching, have your client, let them talk. And then when it's time for massage, to shut them up and go, okay, give me 5 deep breaths. And I get them to just kind of, and then at the very end, when we do 5 more, and they just kind of, and they float out of there. So everyone needs to do that. I love this one. I'm going to do this.
Yeah. Your superhero pose. Amber Rose, I adore you. Thank you so much for being on to talk to us. I think that so many people, like we said, acne is real across all ages now, but there are natural ways to tackle this before you reach for the benzoyl peroxide.
And they can also DM Facial Lounge at Facial Lounge on Instagram. I tag team those. There's nothing we haven't been asked. I mean, people ask us everything. So even embarrassing things people ask, but there's lots of skincare stuff. We're always here to help. So.
You beat me to it. I was going to say, if people want to know more about Facial Lounge, where should they go?
At Facial Lounge on Instagram, and our website is faciallounge.com.
And if you're ever in Newport Beach, which I hope to get to, I will definitely pop in.
We're right across the street from Five Crowns, the coolest restaurant in Newport Beach, and it's amazing. We're actually, Kobe Bryant, which is the anniversary, he lived I'm staring at his house right now, right above the hill. So it's a very special place, Newport. And when you come down to California, we're going to get you in.
I cannot wait. Thank you so much for being on with us today. And if you have any questions at home you want me to pass along to Amber Rose or her fabulous team, I'm always happy to do so. You can email me at hello@ArtBeautyPodcast. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and right here on YouTube at Art Beauty Podcast. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Bye.